So right now the sun is trying its best to come out. It was actually snowing less than an hour ago. Living in the Pacific Northwest, you never know what you're gonna get in an hour or a day. It changes frequently. And while I'm not planting anything in the garden yet, and it's still a little bit too early for me to do any seed starting, there is actually still some stuff going on in the garden. And this is one of my favorite things because I am still harvesting from the garden. So a month ago, we had snow here, and actually it's only been a couple of weeks ago. We actually had a big snowstorm. We had over a foot of snow, and our overnight lows for about a week was kind of that big cold vortex that just hit the entire United States. We were down into the single digits. The good news is we actually had our snow come first, and that acts as an insulator. And then we had the really cold, and then of course we almost had flooding, and it's all melted, and we'll still get snow. We're definitely not out of winter weather yet, but right now everything's bare. But what I wanted to show you is these Brussels sprouts were planted, I put these in May, and I did a couple different varieties, and this was a new variety that I tried that I wasn't really overly impressed with because the Brussels sprouts, as you can see, like they are tiny. This is the biggest one. I mean, and that one is edible, but there's only a few that are actually this size on all of this variety. And I need to look at my records and notes to make sure I don't do this variety again. It was not one that I started from seed. They were actually some starts that I got from our local co-op. And I don't know that I actually saved the variety tags, but the ones that I did from seed and direct sowed myself, those varieties I have, and I'll make sure and put them in the video description down here below. And they did really good. So these went in May, grew all summer, and they have went through, as I said, all of the snow, all of the frost, and I was out here 2 days ago and harvested quite a few. And so we're gonna harvest these again to cook for dinner tonight because Brussels sprouts roasted with bacon are one of my absolute favorite vegetables to have. And as I said, these have went through multiple days of single digit temperatures. They have went through snow, they've went through rain, and I haven't done anything. They're just sitting out here in the elements and they're still providing food for us. And then the great thing is the cows love the leaves, and so do the chickens, because I've been letting the chickens come in and roam about the garden now, just cleaning everything up now that we're in pretty much our dormancy season. And so they've went through and kind of pecked and ate some of the leaves, but there's still quite a bit of leaves on here. So after I've harvested all of the sprouts that I'm going to on these, then I pull the stalks up and I just take them all out to the cows as is, and they will strip everything, all of the leaves in this down, and it's one of their favorite things. In fact, they can smell it. So when I do the big cleanup, I'll just put everything into the wheelbarrow and go out into the field, and they will smell it and literally come running from some of the lower pastures. They love brassicas. So not only do the Brussels sprouts feed us all the way into the winter months, but then they're also going to provide some extra food for the cows. Now we're at my carrot patch, which I have to be honest, I didn't do a really great job of covering the carrots with straw this year. Things just kind of got away with me. So we've had a little bit of erosion, and this is why you actually do want to cover your soil through the winter months, because you can see here where I didn't have any straw, these are all exposed. So these carrots are exposed, and the chickens have actually been in here. This one's still half froze, and I didn't do a good job at thinning either. So this one's kind of a 3 carrots in one that the chickens have been helping themselves to. But some of this soil, because I only had my wood chips to like right here, with all of the snow and the rain that we've had, it's washed back the dirt. So these are exposed, which means because we were freezing at night, this is actually frozen to the ground. So I'm not even able to pull that one up. Thankfully, we are beginning to thaw right now. So I'll just pull these up because they've already been frozen and feed them to the cows and the chickens. So none of it actually goes to waste, but we're not getting to eat it. So over here, I do have where a mole has been working his way in, and he may have helped himself to some of the carrots, but I did actually come out here and harvest a bunch of these carrots because I made a lot of broth over the weekend. I think that is actually a molehill covered with straw. So one of the downfalls to this is if your soil is froze, then, it will freeze the tops. And so like this, I'm just gonna pull the greens off. I'm not gonna be able to actually get this carrot up. Did I bring a spade out? Hold up, I'm gonna go get a spade. Now I've got my spade. So this is actually really good though, because it's gonna show you how far down the soil is actually frozen, and then with your mulch line. So then you'll kind of know if you want to leave stuff in the ground, this could be a good test because you'll see how deep is your frost line based on your average temperatures. So it's going to go a little bit around that and loosen up. And I can it's just about the top, maybe ½ inch is actually frozen, just enough to make it difficult. Oh, did I break that off or did that get eaten by our friendly mole? No, I think that was eaten by Mr. Mole. Oh, no, it wasn't. I think I actually hit it with the spade and sliced it just a little bit. There we go. So that was me, not the mole. So here's our carrot, and this is not frozen, so this is perfectly good. I'm just gonna go ahead and rinse this off. And I'm actually gonna make some more broth. So that was one of the reasons for me to come out here and dig into the carrots. This is one of those moments where like, at the time that you really should put the straw on because it'll make it so much easier during the winter. And you're like, oh, it'll be fine. And so now it just gets to take me about 3 times as long to pull out the carrots. Oh, I sliced that part too. But like I said, this is just going in for broth. So we'll just rinse that real good. And that should be plenty of carrots for a batch of chicken broth. So this is all I'm doing in the garden physically. However, if you want to be able to harvest your vegetables next year in the middle of January, now is the time to get planning what you're going to be putting in. And I have got some videos here as well as some worksheets that you can grab at the website, and we'll put them all down below for you in the video description.